Hi everyone, good Friday, happy Valentine's Day to those of you who celebrate it. Okay, so this is Safia, and today my video is not something I've actually planned. It's just some thoughts I wanted to share with many of us. We're all sharing a common concern around the world right now concerning our health, as the coronavirus is making its way around the world, in particular hitting now the UK, and now it's introduced itself into London. So I guess down here we're all gonna really like hyper down here because now it's hit the capital. Well, the reason why I'm doing a video of it is because I have some questions, especially, I'm living in London, so I have some questions about the recent incidents, the recent cases with the coronavirus that has come to the UK, which it doesn't sit well with me. If you could answer these questions for me, then fine, but I've got some questions for the government that doesn't sit too well. Okay, so first thing, alright, we have this lady a few days ago. If I get the facts wrong, please feel free to correct me. It's all coming from my head right now that I remember. There's this lady that came from China. Okay, I'm not sure, I guess she lives down here. Okay, so she came from China. She was at she came from China a few days ago to Heathrow, okay, on the airplane to Heathrow, landed in the UK. So that's another thing. There was an airplane, a flight from China, still being allowed to come to the UK. That right there was a concern for me, big time concern, after they were saying, the UK saying that they're making, great efforts to tighten, to make sure the secure the health and safety of the citizens, okay, of the UK. And one of the ways they're doing so is by stopping. Well, we thought flights were being stopped from China, but apparently they haven't been. They're still allowing flights to come in from China. Also, there was someone I read on Twitter who said that they work at the airport, and the checks that they say that they're doing is not actually happening. Well, not when they were there. The checks of people coming in, okay, screening, like from China, they're not doing that screening that they claim they're doing. This lady came anyway from China, and she went. I thought that she started having symptoms at Heathrow Airport. Heathrow Airport is not far from where I live. I thought that she was having symptoms there, but I later on read that she ended up attending a conference in Westminster for 200, which included 250 people, including MPs and industrial workers. Okay, 250 people. So it's more than likely that she's not going to be the only case right now. She's not the ninth case. She won't be the only case. It won't just be 9. It'll be a whole lot more, because she apparently had the virus. She had the virus. And then from there, she as she started seeing symptoms, she went to the hospital in Lewisham. So I'm assuming she lives in South London. So she went to the hospital in Lewisham, which, now here's another problem. She took an Uber taxi there. And when she went to the hospital in Lewisham with symptoms, they ran some tests, okay, and then they sent her back home to wait for the results. I thought that if you were suspected with the coronavirus, that you would be quarantined, that you would be kept in isolation until you get the results. Why send her back knowing that she would more than likely be in contact with other people, okay? Why not protect the UK like you said? I also take up issue with the fact that she went to the A&E when it's been clearly advised that if you suspect that if you have symptoms of the coronavirus, that you call 111, NHS, okay, and they'll come to your door and they will take you for some tests. You don't go to your local surgery, you don't go to the hospital. She ignored that advice. Apparently, that's how it said that she went against the advice. I assume she would have known about the advice. And she ended up getting sent back. That's also another issue. Another issue is, how come there's a lady in West Sussex, a 20-year-old mother, who went to hospital with her 8-month-old son because he's got some blood condition, and so he banged his leg and it caused internal bleeding. I'm just reading it this morning, okay? She took him to a hospital in West Sussex. When she got home, she received a call, I think, from the hospital telling her that she'll need, her and her son needs to come in to be tested. They run the risk of being infected of the coronavirus because the doctor, hear it now, the doctor at the hospital in West Sussex has tested positive for the coronavirus. That's a 10th case. Why is it that is not out here yet? It's not 9 cases, y'all. I'm sure there's more, but people are not dying of it, so I guess they're not highlighting it. 10 as a 10th case. It's a doctor. I have a big issue with that. Firstly, if they found out at that time that this doctor had coronavirus, that means they would have tested prior while he was working as a doctor, still being exposed to patients. If you suspect that you have coronavirus, they said keep yourself isolated. So why not isolate the doctor until they found out? No, it was too late. Once they found out, already positive, he had already, how many other patients we do not know, but this lady, her son has symptoms of it. He also has a blood condition. She's very concerned that he will die. She is scared. She's now sent home. They sent her home. Well, she was tested, and now she's at home waiting for the results, and the results should come today. And I pray to God the results are negative, because she's really scared, and any mother would be scared. She has symptoms, her son has symptoms, and now her little daughter has symptoms. This is very irresponsible. Why don't you quarantine them? Why did you even allow that doctor to be even in practice? He shouldn't have been there. The fact that you got the results that day mean that you had doubt about his health. You weren't sure, which means he shouldn't have been functioning as a doctor. There's too many loops in this damn thing. From the fact that the UK is still allowing flights coming in. Also the fact that this lady from China, who traveled from China, was sent home from Lewisham instead of sent immediately to St. Thomas's. Now she's in St. Thomas's being treated. And then this person in West Sussex, the doctor in a hospital, has coronavirus, and he was still allowed, even while not sure, but if he had it, because he had symptoms, he's still allowed to function as a doctor. Now it's infected another child. It just makes me wonder. And then now this lady, who came from China, went to a conference of 250 people. It makes me wonder, is this damn thing intentionally trying to... is the UK allowing this intentionally inside our country? Is this what's happening? It's a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks. I ain't saying what's so, because I don't know what's so. It's just a lot of question marks. The safety of the UK, or London now anyway, London, it will be exasperated because we are a travel city. You know, we have the TfL, Transport for London. We have the buses, we have plenty of buses, plenty of train tube. People commute every day mainly by train to get into central London. So if you're in South London, there's a high chance you're gonna infect someone in North London. Doesn't matter where you live. The fact that you guys commute, you're about to get it, because the tubes, it's packed. It's air conditioning, but everything's in one space. Okay, everyone's breathing in the same recycled air for how long for the journey? That's crowded at rush hour. There's rats underneath there. I mean, it's underground. Yeah, it's a breeding ground for this thing to just break out in London. I'm telling you, it's really, really weird. But you know what I question? I question the fact that, what's the bigger picture? I believe that we should take it serious. I don't think we should be overwhelmed. I think we should take precautions, such as the washing of hands. Thoroughly wash your hands. Don't touch your mouth. When you're outside, don't touch your eyes with dirty hands. Make sure when you come home, you thoroughly wash your hands. Bring a sanitizer, bring some soap. Constantly, regularly teach your children to constantly wash their hands. Okay, that's definitely so. Students can be wearing masks outside. Okay, don't be around someone who's infected. Well, how would you know? You hear someone coughing, sneezing, just kind of step away. I have forsaken traveling the buses right now. I would just rather walk in the fresh air. If I can prevent something, if I could be the least close proximity I can have with people right now, the better, because it's like, this thing is just crazy. It's just all over the place. But here's my thing. If this is intentionally being allowed to come into the UK, my question is why? And here's say it's a conspiracy theory. It's not even, it's just, we're allowed to express our thoughts, y'all, and just to share our thoughts. I could be wrong, and I hope to God I am wrong. But in order to create a new vaccine, in order to push a new vaccine is mandatory. Surely the conditions before, in order to change the minds of the people, especially those who do not vaccinate their children, who just don't take the vaccination. In order to get everybody on board, you have to throw in something which will create a fear and a panic in the minds of the citizens in that country, in that area. And they're seeing people dropping and dying or even hearing about it, the dangers of it. To the point that they were like, we need something, because everything there's a vaccination for, even the flu vaccine. And the flu, mind you, does kill a whole lot more people a year than this has killed so far. Okay? I'm not saying this thing ain't dangerous, but I'm just saying. There's a flu vaccine. There's a vaccine for everything. Every time we're sick, we go to the doctors. Now that there's no answers, people are in a panic because it's the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown. Even though it may not be, it's deadly, yes, but even though it can actually be treated, I believe that this thing can be treated. I don't have the answers. I just believe that there's a treatment for everything. Okay? But what I'm saying is, you create a panic, create a fear when no one now, the doctors don't have the answer. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. And then they say, okay, we have found a vaccine for the coronavirus. All of a sudden, the people who didn't want a vaccine will be vaccinated. All of a sudden, it makes it easy. I'm just saying, just follow my thought. It makes it easy for the government to say, we're now going to make the what do you call it? Excuse me. The vaccination against COVID-19, okay, mandatory. And they can now enforce it, that if you don't take it, then you will be penalized because now you're a threat to society because this is a killer virus. And what if you're a parent who doesn't believe in vaccinations and you don't want your child to be vaccinated? How far do you think this will go? Therefore, your children, if you are a parent who chooses not to vaccinate your child, even today, people think you're crazy. But now if you've got a killer virus going around and you still feel, no, there's ways of actually preventing this, I will not allow my child to be vaccinated, you'll be classed as an unfit parent, negligent parent. They'll class that as child abuse, because negligence is child abuse. Many parents could be having their children taken from them. I'm just saying, if it gets that far, if this is intentional, what could be the purpose? And the purpose for me is, is to create a state in society where everyone's on edge and in panic and fear, where they will actually accept now a new vaccination. I'm just saying. I don't know how far this is going, but to those of us who are panicking, to those of us who are scared, I'm not scared. I'm taking it serious. But I'm not overwhelmed to say it's going to just wipe everybody out. It doesn't have to. It's wiping a lot of people out in China. And people are saying it's racist. I'm going to address this right here. You can say what you want in my video. I don't mind. I definitely am not racist against Chinese. Definitely not racist, period. I'm just saying. If you know, for example, we have to trace cause to effect with everything. If I know that a certain population is dying of a particular disease, and you see the diet that is leading to that. If you know that a certain population has a high cholesterol diet, and or a high diet, a diet which leads to diabetes, you say, well, this country, these kind of people usually have a high rate of diabetes. I say about the Caribbeans, African Americans, they say, high blood pressure or whatever because of what they eat. No one says anything about that, oh, it's racist. But as soon as you say that, well, there must be a reason why a lot of them, it's like thousands of, how is it, 60,000 out contracted this? And about over, I need to get the figures right, y'all. Please correct me. Over 1,000 have died already. I may have got that wrong, but there's loads of people that have died in China. And why is that not actually breaking out like that around the world? I don't know, but you can also you can trace on cause to effect, knowing that coronavirus does come from animals. Flu comes from animals, y'all, too. Just want you to understand. Viruses like these come from animals, but when you see this one coming from China. It's concentrated there. It's just rapidly wiping people out. And you check the diet and the kind of diseases that you can get from such a diet that people don't usually eat except for in that country. Yes, it's not a surprise that it's breaking out like that. That's not saying that Chinese people are bad or Chinese people. No. You just have to, if you don't, listen, you can call it racist or whatever and get all butt hurt as much as you want, but you have to relate from cause to effect in order to know how to eliminate. All we want to do is treat symptoms and never look at cause. No one wants, when you go to the doctors, often, they don't say, okay, how have you been eating? How have you been sleeping? No, okay, oh, you got these symptoms. Let me address the symptoms. And symptoms need to be addressed, but if you don't address the cause, you can put as much vaccination as you want. It will keep reoccurring. It will keep coming back. Diseases will keep coming back to your body until you correct to find out what caused it. The greatest thing we can teach ourselves is cause to effect. It's not blame. It's just, this is true. I don't know. Ignorantly, this is triggering off something. This is not saying that you're a bad person. Okay? So your diet is different. It's just saying that you can see why this is happening. Now, I received a text this morning from my doctor's surgery across the road, addressing me. And I thought, oh my Lord, have I gone somewhere there telling me that I may be infected? But no, they were saying precautions need to be taken into consideration now. If you get the symptoms. This is becoming, because it's hit London with one person now, and more than likely 250 other people are at risk now, who are in that business centre. It's spreading like wildfire. But I want to give some hope and some encouragement. Whether you believe in God or not, the fact of the matter is, a long time ago, in the Bible, in the book Psalms, Psalm 91, I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read parts of it, not the whole thing. There was a promise, a comfort, a consolation, a relief, a refuge that can be found in this chapter, given to those of us who would experience such questionable diseases flying around that no one has the answers to. When no one has the answers to something, it's amazing sometimes we look up. Maybe this is the time we need to do so. Maybe this is an opportunity to really search what's really going on. Medicine has its place. It definitely has its place to cover symptoms, to provide relief. But drugs don't cure disease, y'all. Drugs don't cure. They cover the symptoms. They give you relief. They definitely have its place. I'm not one of those people that said, no, don't touch drugs. No, I will. If I got a massive headache and I know I need some relief, I'm taking paracetamol. There's nothing wrong in having drugs. I'm talking about medical drugs, okay? But when you now looking to that as your sole purpose and you're still living the same way you want to live and eat how you want to eat and sleep how you want to sleep and stress how you want to stress, it's not just about food. You can be a vegan and still have cancer, y'all, okay? Your whole lifestyle just, other parts of your lifestyle is whack. When you start doing that, it's dangerous. God has given us the answer to how we can, I lost my train of thought, but God has given us the answer to how we can protect ourselves and keep ourselves from being overwhelmed when these things take place. Okay? There is a cause for everything, but there's also a cure for everything. And you don't have to be wiped out. You don't have to be overwhelmed. God already foresaw that this was going to happen. And this is already in the Bible. I'm not saying this particular one, coronavirus, but you've been hearing about Ebola, you got swine flu, you got, mad cow disease, all these things. And they're all coming from animals, y'all. All coming from animals. We have to stop and take stock and understand that doctors are human beings. They're fallible. They don't have the answer to everything, but God does. And He has provided our healing and prevention in the things which He has provided, the things which are so basic, the things which don't have a long Latin, whatever name for it, medical name, such as water, fresh air, exercise, rest, sunlight, nutrition, abstinence from harmful foods, and a wise use of healthy foods, lots of fruits and vegetables. All these things they're called doctors because they help us to stay well and to prevent disease in our lives. And this is the moment, instead of like screaming, I'm going to die and we need a vaccination, to really take stock and look at the things that God has provided in nature. And I'm going to read something here that God already foresaw that this was going to take place. Whether you're a Christian or not, it's okay. You don't have to believe this part. You can get rid of this part of the video and stop it and get about your day. But I want to give you some comfort, some hope, to tell you that this virus that we're seeing today, and the viruses that are going to come, and all the different pandemics, epidemics, whatever you call them, that's hitting the world, is going to get worse as we continue to eat trash and we continue to just, eat crap and mess up the blinking air that we breathe. Okay, there will be more and more diseases and things flying around that we're not going to, as human beings, have a hold of. We have to understand, we have to come to a point in our lives where we realize we are not God, the doctors are not God, and we just have to put our hands up in it and say, Lord, help me. And God helps not just by miraculously healing, but teaching us things that we already have in our own cupboards that can strengthen our immune system to put up a greater fight against such things as the coronavirus. I'm going to read it, Psalm 91. It says, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High. I'm not going to break down each verse. But it's speaking, the secret place is the place of prayer. The place of, I'm going to finish this soon, the place of prayer, the place of time with God where you're communing with him throughout the day. It's not a physical place. It's a secret. When you're praying in secret, when it's just between you and God, that silent moment. When you make a habit of praying, staying in his presence, he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely, it says, he shall deliver you. Check the Strong's Concordance for this chapter. It's mind-blowing. When you see the actual translation, it's talking about the diseases that we see today. You see the translation, you'll see. It's very much what they would say present truth. It's very much applicable to our time. It says, surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to skip down. I want to say it in modern version. You shall not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor for the destruction that wastes at noonday. The pestilence, he said, don't need to be afraid for the pestilence that walks in darkness. Whatever the pestilence is, friends, it walks in darkness, which means hidden. Don't have the answers for. Sounds like coronavirus? Where's it coming from? We don't know where it's coming from, but how did it start? And how can we prevent ourselves from having it? And how come it's hitting everybody? We don't have a reason. Why is it just hit the world by storm? That's the darkness. You don't need to be afraid about the pestilence that walks in darkness. And the pestilence, when you look at the word pestilence, break it down into the English language. Translate it. It means a murrain. It's a cattle disease. It's a animal disease as well. Animal diseases. You shall not be afraid for those animal diseases that happen in darkness, and you don't know where they're coming from and how you're going to get it, and everyone's, It also says in another part of the Bible, you should not be afraid of sudden fear. And everyone's like, what are we going to do? Everyone's in a panic. It said 1,000 shall fall at your side. It will hit people. And 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come nigh you. It shall not come near you. Only with your eyes you will see it. When you make the Lord your refuge, it says, no plague shall come near your dwelling. I'm not saying that Christians ain't going to get sick. I'm saying that you have assurance that when you abide in his presence, you are protected from the things which are wiping out the world. You don't need to have fear. You have things around that can reverse disease, can reverse sickness. God said this was going to happen. Look at the word pestilence. It's talking about a plague. It's talking about murrain. It's talking about a cattle disease. It's talking about the diseases that come from animals. And the coronavirus, such as the flu, these things come from animals. Even chickenpox. Look at the history of chickenpox. I'll leave that there. But I just want to encourage you today to not be overwhelmed. Take it serious, take precautions. Don't ignore it and say, oh, it's just like the flu. I don't know if it's just like the flu. I'm not going to go around putting people at peace like that and then they get sick. Okay? What I'm saying is, there's a bigger picture. Why it's just been allowed, while there's no tighter precautions to prevent it from coming into the UK. Alright? And why the doctor was allowed to just, and to work as a doctor while he was being tested. While the woman was sent home while she was being tested, not quarantined. Even the mother and her son. Okay? There's just too many questions about this. too many questions about why the flight was allowed to come in. And why one worker was saying, or a couple of workers were saying, I think, they don't see any precautions being taken place in the airport. There's just too many questions. And if it is the case that they're trying to bring in a vaccination to make it mandatory for those of us who are, rather take the healthier route to prevent disease, and I just say beware, and just keep lookout. There's a bigger picture, and take hope and peace from Psalm 91. Your God has got you. God is in control, but God didn't bring disease into this world. I hope you understand that. Our man, through our choices of diet, through our choices of living, and conditions of living, and all the stuff that we've been doing, we bring conditions that create all the mess that's around us. And then we blame God. You can't blame God for stuff like this. Okay, we have to really take stock and not be alarmed, take precautions, but at the same time also ask questions. And I've got those questions. And why this is not reported, the 10th case. This is the 10th case, not 9 cases. This is the 10th case. That doctor has coronavirus in West Sussex. Alright, that's all I have to say. Feel free to share. Some of you may have something negative to say. That's fine, it's okay. This is my thoughts, okay? But remember where you heard it first. Should something else break out. Should this video come to pass, and you see the intentions of what really is happening right here. Alright, take care. Have a great day. Happy Valentine's Day.